Howdy, everybody, and welcome to another exciting episode of the Debauchery Circus campaign here on the Random Rhapsody Network. I'm Matthew R. Dawson, your friendly neighborhood host and GM, and joining me around my virtual table today are Brandie, Brie, John, Jr., and Stephen. Say hi, everyone.
Hello.
Howdy.
Now, I just want to remind everyone that this week we will be doing another random game night on Wednesday, June 22nd. And before that, we will also be hosting our good friend Kyle Thomas's streaming of the video games he's playing from 4 to 7. I think right now he's still doing his Batman series. You can keep up to date on everything we do here on the network by following us on Facebook as Random Rhapsody TV and on Twitter as @random_Rhapsody. Okay, that should do it for the announcements. So join us as we dive into the world of Loroupa and continue on with the adventures of the Debauchery Circus. And we're back. So when we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had traveled by warhorse across the plains of Radagast and into the desert sands of the Margarden Federation. Travel through the sandy waste proved to be a little more difficult than the team imagined, mostly due to the warhorse's inexperience in dealing with the unfamiliar terrain. This caused Ichabod to decide to change his summoned horse into a camel instead, to make travel a bit easier for him. Now, after traveling for some time, the squad came face to face with one of the regular challenges in the desert, namely a pack of burrowing blue dragon wormlings looking for an easy meal. Instead, they found Ichabod riding a flying camel, Blaznir attempting to make friends with the use of good berries, Corin throwing chromatic orbs, and Kaya using the corpse of one of their horses as a springboard to jump up and attack them in the air. It was a chaotic battle, to be sure, but in the end the team stood victorious, with the wormlings either dead or fleeing from battle with their tail between their legs. And so, Debauchery Circus, I suppose you would all be able to see the pair of wormlings fly away for maybe a minute or so, but eventually the gloom of night would have obscured their forms completely. Even though, cloudless sky, moon out there, it's still pretty dark. It is fairly late in the evening, or early in the morning, depending on how you look at it, as you've all been traveling at night and sleeping through the daytime for the past several days. The bodies of 4 blue wormlings lie dead and bleeding on the sands, as does the corpse of one of your warhorses. Salvatore has likely been dispersed, leaving your group with only 3 remaining horses. But as you all take stock of your surroundings, we forgot to roll for the question of the week, so someone rolled for that real quick, as we find out
17.
What question comes to your minds. Okay, 17. Okay, simple question, but an interesting one. What is your character's favorite season?
Oh, we've done this one.
Have we?
Yes. Everybody said fall.
Oh,
Yep.
That's right. I do remember that.
Try it again.
Yeah, let's try it one more time.
34.
God, yeah, we've done this one too, I think.
All right, somebody else
Time's
roll.
the charm.
Yeah, what does your character admire or dislike about the most about the player sitting to your left? So actually, have we done that one?
Yes.
Okay.
95? gotta put a line through all these, or you have to have a second list.
Well, I do have a second list out there, but it's not as good. Oh, well, here's one we definitely haven't done before. How did your character learn the languages that they speak?
Oh.
Languages. So, yeah.
This way speak.
Yeah. Let's see. Who ruled that one? Ichabod. So, Ichabod, why don't you go first?
Okay, so the languages that Ichabod knows are Common, Sylvan, Abyssal, and Celestial. I imagine he learned Abyssal and Celestial while in training for the Fist of the Father Paladins. Is my churchly duty. And then Sylvan, I imagined that I would have learned maybe when I was a little younger, because there is the portal to the Feywild in my home country. So maybe it's like, maybe there's some lore of like, if you go out in the woods and you speak to a Fey or something, like you can understand what they're saying so you can properly run for your life, Yeah, definitely. You can not accidentally sell your soul or something.
Yeah, I get it. I dig it. Okay, love it. Kaya, how about you?
Well, Kaya knows Aquan and Common because she's a turtle, and that's what turtles know. And Dwarvish, probably stuck around Dwarvish area for a while in her travels. I mean, she's known to... That's what turtles do, they travel, so she picks up things along the way.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Blaznir, how about you?
I learned Common and Druidic. Oh, I can't speak today. Just by being a druid, and Common is common. And also, I never really thought about how I learned Elvish. So I honestly don't know. He might have taken a seminar or something for it.
He took a seminar in the Druid Grove. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I would think if anybody had any interaction with the elves, it would probably be druids, even if it was a long time ago.
Yeah, probably. I'm sure the druids do like a training course on it, just in case they have to deal with the elven trees and whatnot. So sure, why not? Okay, Corin, how about you?
So Common and Sylvan were my racial languages because I started life as a rabbit and not actually an elf. Primordial is pretty standard fare for wizards, along with Draconic. It's a very magical language because of the fact that it's a language of the elementals. And so pretty much anytime you want to deal with elemental creatures, having Primordial helps. As for why I speak Undercommon, it's distinctly possible that there was just some reason that I had to go into the Underdark for my master during his studies of time. There's a lot of weird crystals and stuff down there that would probably be useful.
Okay, I like it. Okay, then, well, Debauchery Circus. As I said, you're all just standing there ankle deep in the cool evening sands of the Jutla Waste. You've got about another day of hard travel to the nearest town, based on the maps you have, and you estimate another day after that to arrive in Rowena. But that was when you had all of your animals.
Mm-hmm.
Right now you stand there. 3 of them had shied away from the dragons and had been kind of backing up, and they're kind of frisking a little bit in the sands, but have stayed at least close enough that you can go see them and grab them. The other one is lying dead next to Blaznir.
Yep.
So, what are you all wanting to do first?
So I'm going to pull out some paper, and I'm going to just do some quick calculations and see if, based on the weight and the amount of people that we've got, we would be able to do anything with 3 horses.
I feel like a camel could hold 2 people, especially if you get me, a heavy guy, and maybe you, Cameron, a light guy. We could double up. I sit down to cast Find Steed.
Oh,
y'all got 10 minutes to harvest scales.
Didn't know you could do that.
Well,
I can turn
Corin,
into an animal for 8 hours, or for 8 hours a day. Like, it's fine.
yeah, that is
Oh,
true.
yes, that's
Uh,
true. The two people on a camel thing. Yes, that makes sense.
I'll be honest. I really think a dead horse is going to be the least of our problems.
Yes, I will start gathering supplies to put on Blaznir.
Okay.
I can only do it for 4 hours today because I summoned my panda. But
Well, good news is you
Yeah.
all only have about 4 hours of travel left for the day, so...
Cool.
and then I can also prepare polymorph tomorrow and do it for even longer. So
I can just put more of the supplies, if necessary, on my horse, and then just ride on the camel with Ichabod.
That would leave 3 horses: Blaznir, Willow, Kaya.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then they can just load up.
Okay, so you do have one more scroll of your summon
It's
steed?
not a scroll. I just have the spell.
Oh, you just have the spell. I thought you needed
Yeah.
a scroll for that for some reason.
No, I had bought a scroll so that I wouldn't have to waste a spell slot.
Got it.
That's what it was. But I used it when I turned him into a camel the first time.
Yeah, I do remember that. That's why I was like, do you still have one? No. Okay, I got you. So yeah, you can sit down and begin casting your spell to re-summon your camel during that time. Now, Kaya, there is something in the back of your mind that reminds you that you do have contractual obligations.
Yep. Cut the
Right
heads
now.
off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll do. I'll get the samples I need and stuff.
Okay.
And I want some scales for myself too, just to have some.
Okay, so who's going to be working on harvesting the... There are 4 dragon wormlings in the immediate vicinity. Who's all going to be working to harvest that while Ichabod is casting his spell?
I'll do it.
I'm moving over our supplies, rebalancing things.
Okay, so you're doing that. So we'll say that Willow's going to help as well, just for the fun of it, since Willow isn't here with us. I forgot to mention that when I was doing my intro, that John is not with us, but he should be back for the crossover. But anyway, Kaya, Willow, and Blaznir working together to harvest the dragon scales. So what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have both Blaznir and Kaya roll survival checks with advantage. This is basically Willow helping the 2 of you, and we're going to, based on your rolls, we're going to see how much you're actually able to harvest from these blue dragons.
Wow.
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 Yeah.
Wow.
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 Yes, Owen Wilson's playing here today.
Yeah, apparently so. Well, so what all did you get?
Everything.
27.
I got 25.
A nat 20,
Yeah,
25.
Nat 20, 25. Okay. So, in about 10 minutes, working together, the 3 of you, and Willow, with her giant freaking long sword, just hacks the heads off these dragons for you. So, go ahead and mark down that you got 4 blue dragon wormling heads in the bag of colding. Now, as for the, you're just going for scales? Is that what you said? Is that the primary focus?
For me,
I'm definitely going for scales.
yeah,
Get
I
him
would
to
scales
get
are
me a
probably
horn.
tooth or 2.
Okay. So working now, these are blue dragon wormlings. Their scales are a lot smaller. They're not to the point that you can actually, like, you can sit there and pry them out. But honestly, the smarter thing would be to, like, cut the hide off of them with the scales, because you said you wanted to make a shield out of this, Blaznir.
Yep.
Okay, so in that time, I'm going to, in 10 minutes, working together, the 3 of you, I'm going to say that you are successfully able to harvest enough of the hide of the blue dragon and enough of the larger scales to make a shield that you are wanting to make.
bag of colding stuff in our circus journal.
Yeah, just I don't care where you all keep the information about the heads, but you're responsible for that. I'm
Yep.
not going to remind you later how many you've got, because I'm not going to keep track. Well, I am going to keep track, but I'm not going to tell you.
I like that the bag of colding is in blue.
Yeah, I did that on purpose.
Nice. But anyway, during that 10-minute time, Ichabod, you're able to resummon a camel.
Salvatore, you're looking good. I say begrudgingly.
Yeah, that dragon was a dick, wasn't he? If you didn't have that sentinel swipe, he would have gotten away from you.
I know, that was pretty dope.
Yeah.
Forgot to mention that in your recap. What's the deal? No, I'm kidding.
Well, I'm not going to describe every cool thing that happens, but I'll mention it every so often, and it was pretty cool. The whole thing, the blue dragon wormling he was trying to take out the obvious thing flying, this person, to get away, and he succeeded. But then Ichabod got that reaction swipe out, and he died too. Oh, well. And for that entire battle, I also didn't mention that I could not get a recharge on their breath weapon for the life of me. Not a single one.
Kept rolling bad.
Yeah. 6 blue dragon wormlings and not one in, 4 rounds of combat? Oh, well.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Moving on.
I'm not bitter. Moving on. Okay, yeah, with the camel resummoned, and Corin adjusting all of your travel gear onto the remaining horses, he then climbs up behind Ichabod and, snuggles in close.
Time
There's
for us
plenty
to
of
get
room.
to humping.
All right. I'm regretting my decision.
Yeah, you should. But anyway, you do begin to travel once again, leaving the leftover carcasses behind, and your poor warhorse.
Didn't even have a name.
Actually, that was one of the Star Knight's horses. Who cares about that?
Leon's horse.
Maybe. But anyway, how many teeth did you get? Not many, honestly. Like, how many teeth do you want? You could have probably gotten 4 out and the hide at the same time. If you wanted to focus on that and get more of them, or claws or anything like that, you could have said so.
Yeah. And let's be clear, I'm only marking stuff down for the bag of colding because that's like a party quest thing. If you guys are taking individual things, mark that down on your own sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not gonna.
Put the teeth in mine.
That's fine. But I assume from there you start heading out and continuing your travel.
Yep.
Yeah.
It is long, and it is getting warmer over the next 4 hours that you travel until you get to a point where you're starting to think about searching for a place to rest. Now, I do need your animal handling checks to see how well you did. Obviously, Corin, you don't need to make one because you're riding with Ichabod. Ichabod and Ichabod doesn't need to make one because the horse is a fake creature and just obeys you.
He's a celestial.
Yeah, celestial. My apologies. But the rest of you go ahead and make your animal handling checks, and I'll do Willow.
12. Not good. Oh, wait, that's a natural 1.
Yeah, you just rolled a nat 1. Wow.
Yeah.
You rolled a nat 1 and you got a 10? Jeez.
Yeah, I have a +9. I'm a druid, you know.
Yeah, you're a druid.
High wisdom and proficiency.
True. You and Willow are keeping pace, but being that you're on the war horses, it's a little slower of a pace. Kaya, with your 15, you're pretty good. You're doing all right. The horse is responding well, and overall, you're you do travel without much of a complication, other than Blaznir and Willow kind of hanging back a bit, lagging back a bit. Overall, it's not too bad. Now, who wants to make the I just can't talk today. Anyway, who wants to lead the search for your campsite for this evening? What specifically are you looking for a campsite?
Anything that will provide us with some shade.
Yeah.
Or if a cave goes a little deeper underground, that could be cool. Nice and cool.
Now, you're looking specifically for a cave?
Well, shade or a cave.
Okay. Well,
I doubt we'll find one, but that would be
who's
cool.
making their animal or the survival check for that?
I think I probably have the best modifier, so
Think
Maybe
so.
the druid.
a +7. So
Blaznir, you see anything?
13.
When you roll a 5, maybe not.
Well, Blaznir?
Yeah. Unfortunately, as you are all making your way, you're beginning to search. Blaznir, you're just having the most difficult time. All you see are dunes as far as the eye can see.
I'll send up Frazzle, my toucan, and have him look around as well.
Okay,
Get a bird's eye view.
go ahead and make a perception check.
Sure. He got a 12.
Yeah,
Nice.
you're not really finding a whole lot. You can continue to push on ahead and hope that you find something in a couple hours, maybe, or you can just camp out in the middle of the sand.
Wait a minute. I am a dumbass.
What's up?
We're gonna stop, and I'm just gonna ritual cast Leoman's tiny hut.
Hey.
Because the atmosphere inside the space is comfortable and dry regardless of the weather outside.
That is true. Now, does it fit large creatures in there?
10-foot radius, immobile dome of force. 9 creatures of medium or smaller can fit inside the dome with you.
Yeah, medium or smaller. There's the key word, because your horses are not medium. They are large.
This is true.
So they would
We
not
could just
be
tack
able
them
to-
outside.
Yeah, but we'd have to have some way to protect them from the heat, otherwise they
Well,
would die.
The heat
Because
and
we
the sun.
have a couple of
Yeah.
tents. My tent is broken, but I imagine I would still have the canvas. You could set up a couple poles and stick them down in the sand and tie the canvas along the top. Some rope.
I was thinking of casting this so we can just hide ourselves.
Make the tiny hut look like a sand dune.
Well, I mean, I can do like a big area so we're hiding the hut and the horses.
Yeah, you
Sure.
definitely could do that.
We'll try and do both of those things, I guess. Get the extra canvas and poles and try and just set up like a little tent for the horses.
Yeah, I hollered to Kaya, and I'm like, Kaya, can you help me set this up while they're casting spells?
I'll go help. I use my muscles and help.
We'll see what we can do.
So, yeah, I'd say that the two of you working together, like if you go to a low point in a dune and stick up some poles and kind of stretch your canvas out a bit, use your tent poles and that sort of thing, you could at least make like a shaded covered area for your horses to stand under. And then if you're casting hallucinatory terrain over the top of that, that would definitely cover anyone looking down from above or looking across from a nearby dune.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of thing.
Yep.
As long as they don't try to walk on it.
I think the only thing we have left is we need something that we can like put in the ground to tie the horses to.
How many tents? I mean, how many tents do you have? In total?
I've got one.
I've got none.
So 2, maybe 3 if Willow's got one.
Let me check Willow.
I don't know if I had the chance to shop beforehand. So can we retcon that she has one?
Oh,
Because it might not be on there because she never had any idea we were going in the desert. Or John never, I should say.
or if nothing else, we could try and tie the horses to Salvatore and just get Salvatore to keep them calm and
Salvatore,
not running off.
You're in charge now.
I don't mind. I gave you guys plenty of opportunities to go shopping.
Yeah.
I don't mind retconning that you have a couple extra tents. That's not a big deal.
Cool. Then yeah, we'll just stake stuff into the ground enough so that we can tie the horses to it and cover them up, and we'll be good.
Sounds like a plan. Okay.
Sweet.
Cool.
So with your dome cast, your horses now under a little bit of an awning type thing that you've all built out of a bunch of tent poles and the canvas and all that. And you tied them to Salvatore and told Salvatore to stay put. And with the dome erected, you all can get inside and actually sleep relatively comfortably. The thing itself...
Salvatore's keeping watch.
Okay. Now, the thing itself, like you said, is just a 10-foot dome.
10-foot radius dome.
Yep. And that's
Which
a 10-foot
means
radius
it's
dome right
gigantic.
there that I put on there.
That's a... Yeah.
That's a 10-foot radius dome.
Hell yeah.
It'll be fun. Why is it?
Snuggling in this dome.
Nothing wrong with that.
And I feel
So-
like... Where did I put the camel at?
Rip my camel.
I can even command the interior to become dimly lit or dark so that we can actually sleep more easily.
I also want to know, since the gods were looking down on me last time for not flagellating myself, apparently,
Apparently.
I will find a private place to pray and do my penance on the other side of a sand dune,
On the other side of a sand dune.
away from everybody else.
Okay, so imagine while everyone else is like, getting out their rations.
I just don't want to get
getting
disadvantaged
water.
again. I'll do anything for you, Bowers, please.
Okay, so you go heading off into the dunes and find a nice quiet place. Now the sun is beginning to rise for
That's
sure.
part of the punishment,
Yeah.
cooking in the sun.
Yeah. So the sun is beginning to rise because you've been traveling at night. It is getting very hot already, but what do you do?
We'll go over. I got my little prayer rug and my prayer box that luckily didn't get broken. And I set it all up, and lay the rug on the sand. And then I say my prayer and I go through all the sins I feel I've made that day. And I also apologize profusely for whatever I've done to upset Bowers. And then you give myself 3 good whacks. Does that satisfy you? Does that satisfy you in the audience?
No.
That's what you want.
So I just imagine.
He cited that as the reason.
Yeah, he
Not
did.
enough flagellation.
He did.
So-
He totally did. So just Ichabod is out there kneeling at the top of a dune, smacking himself in the back with his whip while screaming, "Is this good enough for you?"
No, I take it humbly and quietly.
Perception check, Matt.
No,
Go for it.
Don't perceive me.
19.
Why do you expose my privacy?
You all definitely heard this shit.
Yeah, you hear the whacking. That's it.
You hear the thwacking, and you just hear the sobs of lament. But anyway, eventually Ichabod makes his way back to the dome. It's probably awkward and weird, but
You have fun?
I don't want to talk about it.
Fair enough.
Fair enough indeed. But yeah, you doing a watch or anything like that?
Yeah,
Who's going first?
I'll take first.
I'll take second.
I'll take one of them. Just any of them.
Just any of them?
Yeah. I don't care which one. Just one of them.
I guess Willow can take one too.
Yeah,
Since it
we'll
comes
give Willow
to-
third, and he can take the last one then.
Fair enough. Go ahead, Corin, and
Yep.
make your perception checks for the day. Or for the night.
How
Yeah,
many?
day. It is day. How many are you planning on staying up for?
What do you mean, just one watch?
You're just doing one watch?
Yeah, 16.
Perfect. With your 16, like, it's kind of weird, because I imagine with that, the spell above you, like, you can see the outline, like, the shimmering edge of where the magic holds, and then you're just... What's that?
It's transparent from the inside, so we can see out fine.
But I imagine there's still, like, a little shimmer to tell you where it is.
Gotcha.
What I mean, that's more what I'm describing, and you can't see that. You make your dome go dark, and it is it's dark enough, and you are able to see or to sleep, but it's still light enough that you can see out, and there is day, so it's probably a really weird sensation sitting there in the dome, but your watch for the most part goes by relatively quietly. Every so often, like it's so quiet that every so often you get one of that sensation where you think you hear something, and then you just turn around and it's just like a little bit of sand trickling down a slope or something like that, and it's eerie because you're at the bottom of a dune of several dunes, like just kind of in a bowl of sand around you. So it's very odd, very eerie. But your watch goes by overall uneventful. Now who's next up? Kaya?
It's 12.
Yeah, that's a 12. Similar thing to Corin. Your watch is quiet and uneventful, but eerie. And you just keep glancing around, like a little sand trickle down here. A little rustle of something. You think for a moment there's something coming out of the sand, and then you look, and it's just a little scorpion that kind of crawls up, bounces off the edge of the dome, and just goes on in a different direction. I know, but overall, it's relatively quiet. Now, Willow is the third, if I'm not mistaken, so I'll go ahead and roll for her. Okay. Now, who is going to be the last one? Is that Blaznir?
Blaznir.
Okay.
Alright, perception check.
Yeah, Salvatore, Winnie's, and Camel.
What sound does a camel
Give
make?
myself guidance. Oh, I see everything. Okay. 29.
Now, Blaznir, when Willow wakes you up, she tells you about pretty much the same thing that I described for everyone else on her watch, but she tells you she could have sworn she heard a tinking against the dome. Like something was there, but every time she tried to look and see where the hell it was, nothing was there.
No, that's mildly concerning. Thank you.
Mildly concerned.
Like invisible person, or
she wasn't sure. She would just hear this tink, 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 and then nothing.
Did it go on for a while, or just that once?
Just that once. And that's why it was so, like, odd.
Okay. Well, if I hear it, I would do some stuff, so... Alright.
Okay. So what are you wanting to do? Because with, what'd you roll, a 26?
29 total.
Okay, yeah, 29 total. Yeah.
Guidance is the best spell ever.
Towards the end of your watch, you definitely, like, the first time it happens is about midway through your watch. You're just kind of sitting there. The sun is slowly starting to go down around on the horizon, and you can see it. You can see through the dome. But, like, it slowly starts to descend downward from your position, and as you're sitting there watching, you just hear a tink, tink.
I'll look over. I wish I had fairy fire prepared. But, well.
Gotta triangulate the noise. Where's it coming from?
Yeah, what are you trying to do, Blaznir?
Do I know which direction it's coming from? Like,
make an insight check.
Insight, okay. Can I give myself guidance for this, or?
No.
No? Okay. 19.
Okay. It seems to be coming from the northwestern side of the dome, right about here, but almost like... how's the best way to describe it? You know when you stomp your foot on the floor and it makes like a hollow sound, but if you hit a wall, it makes a different octave? That tink almost has that lower octave, as though it's like at the lower edge of the dome. Right over in this area.
In the ground.
Alright. I don't like it. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to take out that little vial, and I'm gonna cast outside the dome, summon elemental, and I'm gonna summon an earth elemental.
Okay.
And I'm gonna have the earth elemental kind of like burrow around the dome and try to see if there's anything underneath us.
Okay.
Because the elemental, the earth elemental I summon has a burrowing speed.
Sure. How much of a burrowing speed does it have?
40.
Okay. And how much HP does it have?
60, because I have to cast it at 5th level.
I'm assuming that since it's an earth elemental, that it would be, like, experienced enough not to sink our entire campsite just by, like, going around it in a...
Well, it says it's immovable force, or immovable... Yeah. I don't think it would be able to sink.
Yeah, I need to look up this elemental spirit real quick. Give me a second.
It's the sandworm. Just so you all know.
Could be. Could be Mama Dragon.
It's Mama Dragon, but Mama Dragon is the sandworm, WYRM.
Come to eat Salvatore again.
No.
I feel like our horses would be gone if it was a dragon.
Yeah, I feel like. Well, it's a smart dragon, and it knows the horses didn't kill the babies.
Sure.
Horse with a bow and arrow? I don't think so.
I mean, I don't think any of us have a bow and arrow.
But if only we did. I look at Willow.
If only the fighter with proficiency in all martial weapons had a ranged weapon.
I do think once we get somewhere, I will buy a crossbow, though. I've got a couple javelins. Well, one javelin left.
I feel like I should grab a ranged weapon as well, just because the beholder fight is still hurting
You're
me.
a spellcaster.
So the way hey guys.
Yeah.
So hello. Sorry. As I'm reading the spell, it obeys your verbal commands. It's just a kind of a mindless spirit that obeys you. So with that in mind, yeah, you can summon it and send it into the ground to go burrowing around looking for anything.
Just I want to see if there's or I want it to see if there's just some, I don't know, weird thing underneath our dome. Try and get in or something.
Okay, and you're sending it to kind of burrow around underneath the dome?
Not like directly underneath it, like outside the walls. But yeah.
Okay, and just for funsies, kind of get the because the thing lasts for an hour. So and how many feet can it move per turn?
40.
Okay, so you've got time to do this. So just kind of draw for me with the free hand where you're wanting this thing to be traveling and where it's going. What route is it taking as it's burrowing about? Because
you said this was to the northwest that I heard the sound.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so it'll be going like a little bit, like something like that. And mostly around there, because if I hear a sound that way, it should be that way.
Okay. And are you just going to have it do this thing for the next hour, basically?
I don't think I would go have it go super far, but pretty much, yeah. Like,
what do you define as super far, is my question.
Like, if it's more than 25 feet away, then there's no point.
Okay. I'm just trying to understand the nature of how, because this is a thing that has an intelligence of 4. It's not smart. It's really just going to follow your literal command. And so I just wanted to determine what exactly you're having this thing do. So you summon your critter. It goes burrowing down into the ground, and for the next few minutes, you can kind of see that little bump going up in the sand, Sand, fortunately, just fills back in whenever there's a void. So it's not like leaving tunnels or anything like that, but you can definitely see the sand kind of go down a little bit. It goes up, then it sinks down a little bit, and just keeps doing that as it's going around and around and around in this general area for about... Honestly, it would only take it probably around 5 minutes to get to that outer area that you told it to do, and then rise back up out of the sand.
It's undamaged. Doesn't look like it has any nicks on it.
Nope, it's undamaged. Doesn't have any nicks on it.
Weird. I can't understand it, so it can tell me if it's seen anything. So Because it
Why
only
can't
speaks.
you?
It only speaks primordial. It just understands. It understands everything I say, but it says it only speaks primordial. So
And it also has an intelligence of 4. So, like, you can ask it questions, and it can give basic, like, affirmation nods or shrugs or things like that, but it can't really have a conversation with you.
yeah. Hey,
But-
Rock Guy, did you see anything? No, okay.
It just kind of shrugs its shoulders, and that's really about it.
All right, just kind of circle the camp a bit. I don't know.
So are you just having it circle around the outer edge of the camp?
Yep, like 15 feet away from our dome, it would just be making circles.
Okay. And it does so for the remainder of the hour. After that first time that you heard that sound and you summoned that elemental to start digging around in the sand, you do not hear any other sounds for the rest of the evening.
Get it away at the very least.
Okay.
Wish I had fairy fire. Would have been so much better. But, oh well. I will always be cursed with not preparing the right spells.
That is the caster's curse. But eventually, because your spell is an hour long, it ends and your elemental disappears. And by the end of your watch, sure enough, the dome spell ends, and you all begin to wake up. Now, do you have anything you're wanting to do? The sun is beginning to set right now. You have maybe an hour or so before it is fully down. But is there anything you want to do during that time?
See no reason to wait.
Hey guys, I heard something knocking against our door, or dome, by the way. So,
Well,
Really?
yeah, it was just doing a little tink, tink, tink. I had a little rock guy look around and didn't see anything, so.
right.
Strange.
Yeah,
Probably nothing then. I'm sure it won't be important or come back later to bite us.
Definitely
I
not.
It absolutely won't.
It
I trust in
absolutely
that.
won't. You can trust in that all you like. But sure enough, as you're all getting ready to wake up, 3 holes begin to sink inward around you from the sands.
Blaznir, I thought you took care of this.
I thought I did too. I poorly misjudged the amount of work my rock guy can do.
Sounds like you did the best you could, and I forgive you.
What do we see?
Well, you see these 3 holes begin to come just pouring out with these odd sort of creatures. They're large and chitinous. They almost look like lizard-like insects with 4 legs that all end in these long stabbing-like things, gigantic razor-tooth-filled mouths, and hard shells that seem to be almost spiked along its back and its tail. What you see before you are Kruthiks, sand-dwelling creatures, and I need everybody to roll for initiative.
They ugly.
This is at the end of the long rest, right?
This is at the end of the long rest, yes.
Okay. I get everything back. Cool.
Initiative has been rolled for a 26.
I didn't have the chance to actually prepare any spells. This is the DM doing.
Whatever he wants, go.
Okay, 11. I can prepare spells in the meantime.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the DM's giving you one more battle before you get into the city. I know how much you all love random battles.
What spells should I prepare? I didn't have time to think about this. I'll say that.
Baby. Travel through the desert, kill babies.
Yep, that's what y'all do. Travel through the desert and murder babies.
My favorite activity. I love bullying little kids, as we well know.
I mean, that is canon at this point.
That is canon.
So you're not wrong. But sure enough, there you go. Your horses are over there. I gotta give them initiative. I'll just give one of them. That's not what I needed.
Alright, I'm going to try to use a sword. For the last time.
We saw how well that worked out when you did it before.
I have one more trick up my sleeve that might make swords work for me.
Hell yeah.
If this doesn't work...
I get to name your next character.
Oh, no. God, no.
Blaznir, you've learned from all your past mistakes, and now you're gonna hit with that sword.
Enjoy
No.
playing as Sir Bennis the 69th.
Exactly.
No. Let's see.
Are we ready to start?
I think so.
Probably at the same time. Right.
Cool.
Yep,
So
there
I'm
we
up.
go. So you are up first, Corin, with a 26. What are you wanting to do?
I'm wanting to do the classic wizard fireball. And let me pop that in chat. And let me look at my sphere. I guess that's probably just fine.
And I imagine when you're in the desert, like you're throwing a fireball and it's just like an explosion of the super hot flames. So afterwards, underneath that, that's all going to be like all that sand there is going to be kind of crunchy and almost glass-like.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah, but anyway, dex saves for these critters. Let me see here. Okay. The big guy failed.
Thank God.
Looks like only one of them succeeded with a 17.
Cool.
So how much damage did you do?
25 for the failures and half damage for the successes.
Okay. Well, one of them, like, your explosion happens, just huge fireball, and as that starts to dissipate, and you now just see that little area of landscape that's kind of crunchy and glass-like. One of the little infants immediately, actually both of them, immediately drop down to the ground dead.
Nice.
It's gonna be easy fight.
They didn't
Maybe.
have shit for HP.
We don't know.
Big boy's still up.
Yep. Let me see. Okay. So this one that's 25 feet away from me here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to try and shove him with my bonus action.
Okay, are you shoving them towards you or away from you?
Away.
Got it. That is what type of save?
Strength.
That is a failure.
Yep.
So you push it 5 feet away, it goes stumbling back towards that hole. Two of its legs kind of go inward a little bit, and it has to stab them down into the side. And those holes are beginning to fill up with sand now.
Yeah.
You can still see like the indentation. That's why I'm leaving the big things, but they are filling up with sand. Now, is that your turn?
I'm gonna just do a little movity move.
Little
And be
move
done.
move.
Yep.
Okay.
Putting the tougher friends in between me and them.
Classic wizard move. Okay.
I mean, you know.
Well, yeah, that's it for your turn, and the next two things that are in order are dead, so they can't do shit.
Yay.
And then you got some really, really pissy things coming your way because they didn't like that too much. So first off, the adult Kruthiks are moving towards your group. They got, 40 feet of movement. Which is exactly enough to come get Ichabod.
Well,
So this weird sort of chitinous creature starts scurrying towards you on these almost spear-like legs that the thing has. Its tail kind of sweeping back and forth as it comes towards you. And let's see here. That's weird. Okay. Yeah, it raises up on its hind legs and just stabs at you twice with those gigantic spike-like forelegs that it has. And
Good
can't
luck.
roll for shit.
yeah, they both miss.
Yeah. One comes towards you, you just smack it away with the shield. As the other one comes up, you duck your head around and just kind of twist underneath it.
I wish I had time to stretch this morning first.
They had a bit of time for that. But yeah, these things smart enough to know that something's there, but not smart enough to get around a dome. So they just kind of hung out and wait. Now the war horses, you said they were all tethered to Salvatore. Is that correct?
Oh no.
So they're hobbled. They're underneath this tent awning. Salvatore is there. So like on their turn, they're kind of like stomping their hooves and kind of rustling a little bit, but they can't get too far because they are like stuck there. They're literally stuck there when you hobble them.
Good.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't want them to die, but
Yeah. Well, speaking of things not wanting to die, next up is another one of those adults. This one comes scampering up towards you, Blaznir, and is going to try to attack you.
Yeah, do it.
2 spikes.
Oh, 2.
16.
16 hits.
Okay. Not a lot of damage, 4 points.
That's fine.
Okay. Kaya, it's your turn.
keep them from getting to the
Alright.
horses.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's see here. I'm gonna go 5. Then go here. I'm gonna attack this one. That's a 20 to hit
Oh, yeah, that hits.
for 14.
Okay.
And then another attack. 19. I'm assuming hits as well.
19 does hit.
For another 14. Is it still up?
It is still up.
Okay, I'm gonna flurry of blows then. That looks like an 18.
18 just hits.
For 12. And then 25
25 does hit.
for another 12.
Okay, that is enough to take this thing out. Took all of your hits plus a key point to do it, but you did manage to take out this adult Kuthrik that's trying to, take out your buddies.
And then after that, since I can stop moving, I'm gonna go over here to kind of, be a barrier between, the horses and everything else.
Okay. Blaznir, you're up next.
All right. I'm gonna pick up off my shield. Oh, I cannot talk ever. I'm gonna pick up my shield off the ground, even though I definitely had it in my hand. But
Okay.
Flare, and I'm gonna. I'm gonna pull out a little leaf in my hand, just kind of rub it a bit, and sparks come off it, and I cast a flame blade at level 4.
Nice.
So I do a bit more damage. And then that's a bonus action attack. Just gonna give it a little whack. Did that work? No. Okay. That didn't do what I wanted it to do.
No, that's the spell itself.
Yeah. Give me a second. Is it? Okay, it's not on my
Yes,
attacks.
you can.
I'm gonna have to put this in. Oh, it might have been, but no. I'm gonna just. This will be a bit quicker if I do this. So, 1d20 plus spell attack is 10. 28.
Yeah, a 28's gonna hit.
Alright, and it's doing 46. So 9 points of damage.
9 points of damage. Okay. You slash at that with that magical flame blade that's in your hand, cutting through, doing a decent amount of damage. Not great.
It's fine. More damage than I ever did with my sword.
As much as I did, but
Children, you're both pretty.
Blaznir, that's pretty awesome. So you combine the magic and the sword fighting. I like that.
This is not good. I'm not doing well.
Well, it looks like you're doing pretty good to me.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not doing good.
hey, at least you heard him.
Yeah, look at him. He's positively terrified.
He's about to stab me.
I look at it and it goes, like screams.
Basically.
Oh, it's scary. Ooh, frightening. I'm shivering in my plate mail.
Yeah, you are. Okay. That's it for Blaznir's turn. Now we come to the Hive Lord. This thing definitely was not feeling too happy about getting fireballed.
Yep.
How much movement does this have?
5 feet.
40 feet. Okay, yep.
5 feet.
Yeah, only 5 feet. Nope, it has 40 feet, so it's going to come scurrying right up towards Ichabod, right up there. You're
Hey there.
You're right there in front, so you're going to get it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, first thing it's going to be doing, it gets 2 attacks this turn. First thing, as it's running up towards you, it just opens its mouth and unleashes this acid spray in a 15-foot cone. So I need to pull that out.
Ew.
Don't worry, y'all. You all get a +4. Bowers is looking down upon us today.
Is that what you were doing last night?
So yeah, that's going to be
I don't know
enough
what you're talking
to...
about.
That's going to be able to hit Ichabod, Willow, Corin, and Blaznir.
Right.
What's the save?
It is... I just lost it.
Yes, there's no
There
save.
is
Yep,
no
and
save. Don't take
dexterity saving throw.
Alright. Here goes nothing.
14
Ooh, that's
plus
a nat 1
8
for me.
for an 18.
Blaznir, you got a 20.
Oh,
Let's
I did.
see here.
Yeah, because you get a +4.
Willow got a nat 1 for a 7.
Spiders.
So yeah, it looks like Ichabod and Willow both failed and take 27 points of acid damage.
Yikes. How much is halvesies?
13? Unless you round
Yeah,
it
13.
up.
13.
Okay.
Forgot to reset Willow's HP, so I had to do math real quick. But we're good
Oh,
now.
not math.
I know, not math. So, that was its first attack with the acid just arc that just hits all of you. Unfortunately, Ichabod and Willow got the full brunt of it, being the two in front, but Corin and Blaznir were able to react in time to dodge. At least a little bit. Now, for that second attack this guy gets, is he's just going to twist around and try to ram this spiked tail into your chest, Ichabod.
All right.
But Matt can't roll for shit, so that's a 12, which misses.
All right.
Disappointing. We got one more adult Kuthrik left over, and he's going to be coming rushing at your group as well. Corin, you look like a really juicy target right there.
I don't think so.
I think so.
I think I'm a
Perhaps
juicier
he is
target.
mistaken.
There's nothing juicy on him.
He's like all skin and bones, like honestly.
Elves, I swear.
Anyway. Yeah, 2 spike attacks.
Ooh.
Oh, nat 20 for a 25.
Let's chronal shift that 25
Oh, yeah?
as a reaction.
In this
Yes.
universe.
Okay, so
Not
one
in
more
this
attack.
lifetime, buddy.
Still a 19.
Yeah, that'll still hit.
Well, at least it wasn't a crit, so you took 6 points of piercing damage.
Yep.
Okay, Ichabod. Your last or not last in turn order. There's actually one more, but you're up next. What are you doing?
Well, I think I'm gonna take a page out of Blaznir's book, and as a bonus action, I'm gonna cast Searing Smite. So my blade lights with fire too.
It's glowing with fire.
Yeah, and I look at Blaznir and I give him a thumbs up, out of encouragement for my friend. Okay.
I am looking terrified right now.
Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I meant to put the actual quote in there.
Okay.
There we go. Okay, because it's when I hit with it. So we'll see if I can hit. I've got my Son of Balrus, so I'm going to take 2 attacks.
Okay, I assume you're swinging at the big guy.
Oh yeah, the big guy. I don't go for these small fry.
Do it.
I like to pick on people my own size. So 12 on the first one.
12's not enough. You just slam your sword against that hard chitin on its back.
Alright, and then I'll learn from it and I get an 18.
Yeah, you get an 18, you try again, and somehow your sword is still not able to penetrate. This
All right.
thing is big, and its chitin is tough and thick.
Alright, that's gonna be about it for me.
That's
So
going
I'm
to be it
just
for
gonna-
you.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait. See
Okay.
that.
Fair enough. Unfortunately, your blade is still glowing because you
Yeah.
have not struck yet. So you got that for a little bit. How long does you have?
It's
Up to
a
a
minute.
minute. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Matt,
Yes.
Willow is not in the initiative order.
Thank you.
Get in here, Willow.
It just doesn't fight often.
Because Matt has a lot of things to do.
Mhm.
But we're going to go ahead and say it's
I'll play
her turn
Willow
now.
if you want.
Yeah, go for it. Make my
Well,
life
you gotta
easier.
give me access to her character sheet.
I am.
Brie just wants to read Willow's diary.
Pretty
Yeah.
much.
I just missed on my attack, so I want to try to hit again.
Just fair
That's so
warning,
awesome.
the character sheet's a little bit of a mess, but I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right, Willow. Let's see. Syringe is the one she usually. Oh, she also has a great sword.
Yeah, she uses the great sword.
The great sword.
The radiant great sword.
Yeah.
She uses syringe to do the when she wants to sneak attack.
Okay.
Yeah, poison type shit.
All right. So Willow is going to step up, and Willow is just a southern accent, but in a girly voice. All right, you're going down. That's a oops. I'm still Ichabod. Anyway, 21.
21 does hit.
You made me spill my mint julep.
So
God.
22 damage. She takes 2 attacks. Extra attack.
She does get an extra attack.
So she's gonna do it again.
Whew.
For 26.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna hit.
And 21 radiant damage. Excessive. She's rolled so high.
Yeah, showing Ichabod up with no problem whatsoever. Willow is just cleaving into this thing with that radiant greatsword of hers, and does quite a bit of damage. But
and with sneak attack, it's if somebody else is within 5 feet.
You have to use a.
Oh, it has to be a finesse weapon. That's right.
It has to be a finesse weapon. So
that's right.
It
Okay.
does not count.
I was trying to see what she can do. She can bonus action disengage, right?
Yes, she can.
So she's going to bonus action disengage and move back to where she previously was, so Ichabod can continue to tank.
Fair enough. Yeah, I like it.
End my turn.
Okay, and with Willow's turn ending, that big hulking creature is looking pretty rough. He's not looking great. Quite a bit of blood. It's like this purplish, very horribly smelling liquid that's just pouring out of the side of this creature, and it roars in pain. And as it does so, its little buddy over here, that's his last one that hasn't moved yet, comes running up to you, Ichabod, and is going to try to defend its daddy.
Weren't me.
But that's a 7 and a 12, so neither hit. Yeah, I know, it didn't have enough movement speed to get to Willow. But neither of them hit. Apparently I can only hit on a nat 20 today.
Sure.
But that's it for its turn, and we are at the top of the order. So I rearranged it so that Willow's in the right position. And Corin, you're up.
Bonus action, shove the one in front of me away from me.
Okay, that's a strength save.
Yep.
That's a 6, another failure.
5 feet.
So it is 5 feet away from you as you shove with that telekinetic force of yours.
Awesome. Action, chromatic orb on the big one.
Chromatic orb on the big one.
I will do cold damage. 21 to hit.
21 does hit.
For 14 cold.
You throw that orb and it just explodes on the side of this creature, and you see the frost marks just smashing up the side. It definitely looks hurt, but it is still alive.
Okay, and then moving over here. And that'll be my turn.
Okay. That's it for your turn. Next are the war horses. They're still kind of, prancing about a bit. You can see them, Corin, and you, Kaya, as well. Can see them like stepping back and forth, trying to wiggle out of the halters that you have wrapped around their legs. But for the most part, they're not being attacked. They're not really being threatened. So they're maintaining their composure. They are war horses, after all. Willow is up next. That's you, Ichabod.
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get him. Okay. So she is going to wisely step back forward. And if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we're gonna do him again. 22.
22 does hit.
I hate that radiant is spelled wrong. 12.
Is it?
12. It's radiant with an E, E-N-T.
It is. I haven't looked at it that close. That's funny. Okay, yeah. 12 points, more points of damage.
I slash into it and I let its blood rain down over me. 14.
14 is not enough.
Okay. She's gonna bonus action disengage and hide behind Ichabod's shield again.
Fair enough. Okay, that's it for Willow's turn. Next up is the Kruthik that's right there next to you, Blaznir.
Okay.
The Kruthiks is going to be stabbing at you twice with its front little spike legs.
It doesn't really have to, you know.
That's an 18 and a 14.
18 hits.
So 7 more points of piercing damage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Fair enough. That's it for his turn. Kaya, you're up next.
Alright, I'm gonna move up here to this guy. And same as usual. Do 2 of those. 21 hits. Does 19 hit?
19 does not.
Okay. And then I'm gonna do the flurry of blows. Hold on a second. Do that one. And so let's see, that's a 22. That one I'm also doing the Hand of Harm on.
Okay.
So let me put that up. And then let me see if I can do this. Let's see if this does it. Yeah, okay, that 3 necrotic and 10 bludgeoning.
Oh, wait a minute, I'm sorry. I was looking at the wrong AC. Your 19 did hit.
Okay. Well, there's the 10 is for 19 for that one.
Okay.
So, is it still alive with that? Let's see, I got 13, 23, 33, 36 damage so far.
It is still up.
Okay, then I'm going to do my last flurry of blows on it. There. 21 hits for an additional 10.
So now when you do your Hand of Harm, does that also cost a key point?
Yes.
Okay, so you use 2 key points this round.
Yes.
But that is enough to take this thing out one last time. So yeah, with the 2 hits from your quarterstaff, whack, whack on either side of the head, you jump around the side, hit it with your fist, jump over the thing, punch it again, and it just drops to the ground as its armor shatters under each hit that you give it. The thing just crumples to the ground dead.
And
You still have movement.
yeah, I know. I think I'm just going to move back up here. Again, just, kind of protect the horses.
Fair enough. Blaznir, you're up next.
Alright, so I was watching Kaya, and I realize now that these things are a bit more sturdy than I was hoping, and I'm probably not going to get this thing by wailing on it with a sword.
Blaznir, just try again.
Yeah, come on. Just believe
Wasting
in
spell
yourself.
slots, Blaznir.
No.
Just believe in
Okay.
yourself, buddy.
Here's the thing, I'm going to expend my sorcery points
Oh yeah.
for a quickened spell, and I'm going to do a 5th level Burning Hands.
5th level Burning Hands. Like it.
Yeah.
That deck save?
So-
That is a dex save. That's a dex save of 17. Oh,
well,
wow,
he
that is-
rolled an 18.
Actually, no, that's good damage. Never mind. Oh, I do not do that 4. I don't know why Enhanced Bond is on, but and yeah, he saves.
So still, 25 points of what it would have been. It ends up being 12 points of fire damage. You point your hands outward, and your flames just come shooting out from him in this huge arcing spray. And he does take the 12 points of damage, but still up.
Yeah. And then right afterwards, I'm going to swing with my actual flame blade.
How are you doing that?
Is he quickened
with
the spell?
Yeah,
Got
quickened.
it. Okay, because that's quickened it. Gotcha.
This is action, so I got a natural 20.
Nice.
And that's a lot. 34, I think.
Blade.
Am I doing
Wow.
that math right?
So
I think I am.
Blaznir, after pointing your hands and unleashing these flames, your flame blade is up in your hand. Tell me, how does this look?
Yeah, so after the flamethrower that just burst out of me, I immediately, swing around and do a little spin with the flame blade and just carve this thing in half.
Yeah, I love it. And the thing is just smoldering, like the wounds cauterize as you cut through with the flame blade, and it just drops into a few pieces on the ground in front of you, dead.
Okay, that actually worked. Oh, wow.
Nice work.
Good job, Blaze.
And I'm
now
going
you
to stupidly move into this guy's space.
Perfect.
Just right there.
You're moving to right there? Okay.
Yep.
Well, probably a good thing that you did, because it is now its turn, and the first thing it does is raises its head up and unleashes that cone of acid or poison again, because it can do that all the time. So acid spray, 15-foot cloud or cone that's going to be hitting Ichabod, Willow, and Kaya. I'm not going to bring out the thing again. If you hadn't moved, it would have hit you too, Blaznir.
Yeah,
Is this acid or poison specifically?
That is poison damage.
Okay.
Well,
Good.
no, sorry. No, I'm sorry. It is acid spray. I'm an
Yeah,
idiot.
last time you said
Acid spray. It is acid spray.
Liar.
Sorry. Acid spray.
I got a 16.
You got to beat a 14.
Oh, nice.
Go ahead and roll for Willow too, and you.
All right. And she gets to add my +4. So she got a 20.
Okay. Then, yeah, that's definitely going to be enough for all of you. So all of you only take 10 points of acid damage.
Does Willow have evasion from being a rogue?
Let me see.
I don't think so. She only has.
I don't think
levels.
she's high enough.
Okay.
She's 3rd level.
Yeah, so she would.
But I do.
But you do.
So I don't take any damage.
So you don't take any damage. You just jump back out of the way. But the rest of you two take damage. Now that its turn, or its acid spray is done, it glances over at you, Blaznir, because you just moved into its range, but then he looks back at Ichabod. Who do I want to attack? Yeah, you're the big one. I should go for Ichabod. That's a 20 to hit.
It don't hit. I got a 22.
Nice. You pull up that shield and deflect it at the last possible moment, and it saves you.
And I go, ha!
Okay. That's it for its turn. Next up, that Kulthik is dead. Ichabod, you're up next.
Right. I'm planning to get this quote-unquote flame blade off at some point in this battle, so I'm going to try to hit him.
Jedi Slayer 420 just
God.
wrote, "Yay, monks."
That one.
Yeah, that 9's not going to do it.
Big rough out here for me. Alright, I'm going to Guiding Strike to add +10, so I can hit this.
Okay, yeah, might as well. What does Guiding Strike do exactly?
It's my channel divinity. When you make an attack roll, you can use this feature to gain +10.
Okay, yeah. You unleash that, and that's enough to hit it.
Okay, so That's for the sword, so that's 17, and then also the Siren Smite, level 1, for an additional, it should be 4. It's adding my dueling again. So an additional 4 fire damage, and then with Searing Smite, he catches on fire, so if it's still alive.
How much total damage is that? Let me look real quick.
19, I believe.
19. Okay.
Well, no, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Because it was 8 plus 2 is 10, plus 7 is 17. Plus 4.
Okay.
Yeah, so 21. Okay, that's enough to take this guy out. It had 20 hit points left. So tell me how that looks, Ichabod.
I stab it up through the bottom of its jaw, and it goes up in it through its brain.
Yeah, and then it just drops to the ground, kind of pulling you a little bit down with it, with that weight, and you just have to
pull it out,
yank back before it pulls you to the ground. It is dead, but there's still one more right next to you, and it ain't looking happy. So,
I do have a bonus action, and you said I can stow my shield and pull a weapon.
Yeah, you can flip your shield on your back and pull out that whip.
I flip it, pull out that whip, and try to get this little bugger right here.
Flip it.
All right. Damn, 12.
Yeah, 12's
All these
not
12s.
enough. You swipe out with that whip, but unfortunately, this thing is kind of nimble, and it just jumps back out of the way.
I look at Corin and I go, "You got this, right? You got this." And then I end my turn.
That's it for your turn. Well, it is the last one left, and you're the big target there, so it's going to try to probably miss again with you.
Yep.
But let's see, two stabs with the spike.
Wow! Double nat 20s.
Holy shit!
Double nat 20.
That thing was very angry.
I should have action surged on you.
Yeah, you should have. But you know what? Let's find out.
I'll be alright.
Not bad, honestly. Like, that wasn't a lot of damage.
Yeah.
13 points of damage total is what you took from that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think I just got bit by a mosquito.
Yeah. I mean, look at that. A freaking 1. Twice. But 2 nat 20s too, so it evens out. Anyway, that's it for that thing's turn. And we're at the top of the order with Corin. So, Corin, can you finish this thing off?
I'll try. Chill touch. 28 for 4.
Yeah, 28's going to hit. 4 points of damage is not enough to do this. This has not been hit once.
Yep. And, I don't really need to push it away from me, so I'm just going to end my turn.
Okay. You're going to end your turn and hang out with the war horses that seem to be getting a bit calmer now that there's only one of them left. Willow, go ahead. J Slayer 420 says, double nat 20s, sweet. You just be grateful that I got those nat 20s out of the way on this game. That's all I got to say. But Willow, what you doing?
All right. So Willow's gonna step up and try to murder this thing. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's something different I should do with Willow. She's got Warcaster, so she could do Booming Blade.
But why?
For funsies. For fun. Because I'm not gonna play Willow all the time. Super fun. So she's gonna do Booming Blade. I'll just put that in there so you can see what that does. So it would take an additional 2d8 thunder damage, and then if it moves, if it tries to run away, it'll take more.
Okay, you brandish the weapon used in the spell and make a melee attack with it against one creature within 5 feet.
Yeah.
So you do this as you're using your action to do this, but you can definitely do it.
Yeah, and she still gets to take an attack, and then since she has Warcaster, she gets to take a bonus action attack.
Yeah, I'm down for it.
So it's not like I'm giving up any.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I dig it.
Damn, an 11.
Yeah, an 11 is not enough. You swipe at it, and the thing just ducks down under your sword.
I'm just bad luck today. What is happening?
Double nat 1.
Action surge! Action. 26.
26. D6 hits.
Okay, so Booming Blade is just fucked because. But
Why don't I
save
do Booming Blade for funsies? Not one. Not one.
It's not like Booming Blade did it to me. Roll 20.
No, it was Booming Blade that did it for it too.
Booming Blade cost me nothing because it's a cantrip, so it's like, and I
Yeah.
still got to make 2 attacks, so it was totally free. Okay, so that's first attack was 17, second attack
19
is a
does
19 hit for 19 damage.
17 and 19.
And the 4 I already did. Which is a lot.
Think about it. Yeah, Willow
Well,
gets
oddly
mad.
enough, that 19 is exactly enough to take the thing out.
Yeah. She
So-
just starts hacking and slashing, like one right after the other, because she gets so mad. So it's just like turns it to mush, basically.
Like, just she got so pissed off at missing twice that she just goes into a frenzy and keeps swinging over and over and over again.
Die!
And like as the dust settles and combat ends, you all just see Willow, very par for the course for her, just going crazy, beating the hell out of this thing with her sword as it's just dead, like just a pulp. It's like stomping on a beetle more than once, and just over and over and over again. It's just pure overkill.
But that's what she likes. So, in honor of Willow,
Exactly.
you get covered in viscera.
One last time.
Alright, anyone need any healing?
Yes, please.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on myself first, because I come before everyone.
Well, while we're figuring out healing for the team, I'm going to say we're going to go ahead and take a break.
Take a break.
Yeah, this is a perfect time for that. But combat is over. The things are dead. There's these kind of little indentations, circular indentations in the sand where these things had come up. But you are all alive and contractually obligated to take their heads. So you should probably get on that too while Blaznir's healing you, but we'll find out all about that in about 5-10 minutes. So stay tuned, everybody. We're going to try to make this quick and be back soon. So stick with us.
Alright.
Welcome back, everyone. When we last left off, the Debauchery Circus had just gotten to interesting battle with some chitinous-looking desert dwellers called, what are they called? Kruthiks. Kruthiks. They are chitin-covered reptiles that hunt in packs and nest in sprawling subterranean warrens. They're also attracted to heat. That's interesting. Anyway, so there you are. These things are all about you, dead on the ground. I imagine at this point, probably, Kaya, you have to go start collecting all of their heads, because that's a thing you do. And we'll say that Willow goes around helping you out with that big old great sword of hers. But now that you're all safe and the evening is slowly starting to come upon you, what are you wanting to do?
How many of these is she taking? Is she supposed to take as many of them as she can, or just one?
No, she's actually supposed to take the head of every critter she kills.
Okay. So that's 4 or 5 adults? 6 adults?
Let's see here. 4 adults, 2 young, and 1 young, and one of them is, we're calling that the Kruthiks Hive Lord. Kruthiks Hive Lord. Always ignore the R. But yeah, so you got all those, and
yep.
You gotta wonder where they dug up from. But anyway.
Can I look down one of those holes, or is it just a dent in the sand?
It's just a dent in the sand.
Okay.
You are in the desert, so I mean, anything that comes burrowing out, the sand just immediately starts to fill the void, but it still leaves an imprint, so you can tell where exactly they came from, but you can't really look down.
All right. Well, I don't see any reason to wait. I'd like to try to get to town if we can.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
I
Dig
don't
down.
think they'd be much for the collection of shiny objects anyways.
Well, you'd be
No,
wrong.
if there's any
but, oh well.
underground passages deep below this sand, I'd rather just not know about them.
Fair enough.
Is it,
really
does it
sound
look like
that.
they're coming from where we're going, or are they coming from a different direction?
It's really hard to judge, but go ahead and make an insight check.
Yeah, with a 7, I don't
Yeah,
know.
well, as near as you can tell, like you're examining it, and it is like I've described, just a dent, a crater-like dent in the sand in those 3 locations. So as near as you can tell, it's just coming. They came straight from down.
I thought you said that they're like you could kind of see where they're coming from.
Yeah, and the sense of you could see that dent, the crater-like dent that because remember I said they burrowed up from the ground. They burrowed up, and then as that void is opened, then just sand naturally fills in whatever void is there. So you can see the indentation on the ground of where they came from.
I gotcha. I was misunderstanding than what you were saying.
Okay. But, is there anything else you want to do?
I'd just like to get these horses ready.
Yeah, let's go.
I probably don't know this, but can I make a skill check to see if any of the acid that this stuff spits out is actually worth anything?
Are you proficient in like alchemy tools or anything like that?
My question is withdrawn.
No, I was just wanting to know what
No,
to
I
roll.
don't.
So
I don't.
then it would just be a straight intelligence roll.
Okay. 25 with a natural 20.
Wow. You're gonna guess that probably that acid that that thing had in its that it was spraying out, pretty damn corrosive. How much it's worth? It's hard to say. You'd have to find like the right vendor, but it's definitely a useful substance that could probably be reused if applied correctly.
Do I have something that could actually carry it without corroding?
I feel like that's a question that you have. That you would know. Do you have any like empty crystal
I have some
vials
glass
or
vials and things? Yeah.
Yeah, if you have some glass vials and things, you could probably. It'll take you a little time, and
Okay.
you're going to need help because, like, you're going to have to try to harvest this creature's natural acid gland in its body. But you could probably get a couple vials out of that.
Yes, I will try and do that while Ichabod is getting the horses together.
Okay. Yeah, Blaznir.
I was gonna ask, hey Ichabod, can you tie my horse to the back of your horse? I kind of want to be a bird and scout up above us while we travel.
That's fine. Yeah, Salvatore can guide him.
Okay. Connected.
How many vials
I was saying that's
managed to grab? 2?
We're going to say Willow's helping you. Go ahead and make a survival check with advantage.
Sure. Let's do this. A 14.
Yeah, a 14 is enough. You're gonna basically take 2d6 worth of acid damage because as you're cutting into it, this thing's gonna spray out at you. But overall, it's not gonna hurt you too much, and you are able to get 2 vials out of it.
Okay, 2 vials.
And you take 4 points of acid damage in the process.
Sure.
So not a lot. Willow is like using her sword to hold the thing open. You're kind of reaching there, being as careful as you can with a knife to try to harvest these things. As you do, you nick a little bit, and some sprays on your hands and burns you, but you are able to get your 2 vials worth.
Cool.
Y'all want to do anything else?
I mean, we definitely collect the tent. I imagine that's a part of me getting these horses ready.
Yeah. I'm not being pedantic about that. I just wanted to know if there's anything like important you wanted to do before you headed out. Sounds like no.
We all
No.
prepared spells.
No, that's fine.
Sure.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Heading out once again, you get back on your horses and camel. Blaznir apparently is transforming into a bird and flying overhead.
I'm going to turn into a giant eagle.
Okay, a giant eagle. Interesting.
Yep.
Which you can do for the next 4 hours. As you're traveling. Yeah, if you use both of them, you can travel you can do that for the full 8. So, I guess the only people that have to make animal handling checks at this point is Kaya and Willow.
Yep.
Or Corin, actually, now that if Blaznir is not using
No, I'm
a
still
horse.
riding on the camel.
Yeah, Ichabod like tries to convince him not to, and he's just like, no, but it's fine.
I mean, if nothing else, if I don't have to make a check, then that means that I can read my Elvish book while we're riding.
Yeah, you can. I mean, it's dark. It's nighttime.
Oh,
But
well,
you
yeah.
Well, you got the light
you-
from my sword.
And, well, he's also an elf, so it doesn't matter that much anymore. I mean, you can sit there. It's uncomfortable. You might get motion sick a little bit while you're doing it. But, yeah, you can sit there and read your Elvish dictionary while you're traveling for the next 8 hours, just kind of humping along behind Ichabod.
Mostly I just forgot to make my check when we were doing watch, so.
Yeah, go ahead and make your check. That's fine.
Sweet. Nat 20 for a 25?
Yeah, you can mark that down as a success. You're not far from the city of Rhinoth. You actually are able to spot it, or at least Blaznir's able to spot it, probably about 7 hours into your travels. Kaya and Willow, go ahead and give me your survival checks. Or not survival checks, animal handling checks.
Willow rolled an 11.
Okay. Not great
rolled a
for
10.
Willow. Yeah. Unfortunately, the two of you are having a lot of difficulty throughout your day. We're going to say I want the both of you to make con saving throws. Con saving throws for me real quick.
Is Willow reasonably within 10 feet of Ichabod?
Not in this, honestly, is because, like, they're literally lagging behind. That's the whole point of this one.
Well, Willow rolled a 20.
Can I just jump off my horse and just start walking?
Well, that's not the point of this. The point of this is to determine how your day went. And you're lagging behind, not to the point where you can't follow them. It's just your horse is struggling. It's lagging behind. You're getting exhausted trying to keep it up. And with your 7, Kaya, you are taking a point of exhaustion from today's journey. You had to roll a 12 for that one. But at the end of your day, it's basically an hour before you're all like, yeah, we should probably get some rest soon. Blaznir, flying high overhead, you would spot at this point a city looming ahead. Now, you would know, based on the maps you have, it's not Rowena, it's Rhinoth, the slave markets.
Oh, that's not fun.
Yeah.
As you've been traveling for those 8 hours, Willow gives you a little bit of details about it. The Margarden Federation is not a kingdom, though there is a ruler, the Zaim, who oversees pretty much all trade that comes out of the Jotla Waste. That's why he's the Zaim. The rest of it is more of a confederation of towns and villages that have no real alliance beyond the fact that they're all within this area that nobody really wants to live in, and so they joined together and created their own federation. That's the official story, and that for the most part, people who live in this area, that's what they believe. They're just a member of a fellowship of towns who all banded together for trade purposes. And all of the trade that comes out of the Jutla Waste, all of the, dragon parts and magical things and all that stuff that comes out of it, very, very valuable to the rest of the world. And so that's why they created this federation. Willow also tells you that while on the surface this is all true, it's all actually run by the Cerulean Syndicate, the Thieves Guild.
Yep.
You've had some...
Mafia.
Yeah, the Mafia. You've had some dealings with them in the past, here and there, but nothing too crazy. But they are the ruling body here in the Margarden Federation. And they're the Grand Master of the Thieves Guild. It is the most unofficial secret you can possibly have. That he is the one who pulls the strings behind the Zaim. Rinoth, she tells you, not a great place, but in the Margarden Federation, crime is also severely punished. Official crime. Which is weird because, you're like, wait a minute. It's a country run by thieves. How does that work? But there are very strict stipulations, and typically the people who are charged with crimes, they're not your cut purses, your that sort of thing. These are the people who welsh on deals or who go back on their word, who break contracts, who don't fulfill their quotas, who get caught stealing, because crime is severely punished. It's just if you get caught.
Yeah.
And these are the people who are typically, when they're convicted, their charge is slavery, and they have to live out years of indentured servitude to complete their time. The other option, of course, is losing a hand or death. So people tend to choose slavery. So
Willow have any advice on how we can avoid becoming slaves ourselves?
Yeah, she has some very good advice. Don't piss anyone off.
Don't do crime.
Don't do crime.
I mean, obviously don't do crime, but there's going to be people out there who are going to try and, kidnap people for slavery anyway, or who are doing it because they have a quota to fill or something.
Oh, there certainly are. And that typically happens. People who are all by themselves, people who are not, armed to the teeth as your group is.
Okay.
You're moving in a well-armed group. You're basically when you see the Proud Boys rolling into town and they all have their semi-autos on their shoulder and they have the fucking vests and everything and they're moving in a pack. You don't want it. That's your group when you roll into a new town. So people don't really want to fuck with you that much, as long as you maintain that mean exterior and that you don't want any of this attitude that Ichabod, Kaya, Willow tends to, radiate.
Fair. No splitting the party while we're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some trouble in the past, not pissing people off.
Right. No splitting the party, and we gag Blaznir while we're there.
Don't let Blaznir shop for anything. Don't let him buy or shop for anything, and then don't let me... I don't know. Just don't let me exist anymore. People don't like that I wear this big cape with the symbol of the father on it. That's a problem for a lot of people in your country, in this country, so...
That is true, too. Willow will tell you that there is a Temple of the Five in Rowena. It's they don't have temples in the Margarden Federation. They have mosques. But they do actually worship the five gods there, and the biggest mosque in Rowena is actually a mosque to Crandage.
See, I see. The bad one.
Well, I mean, that does kind of make sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it definitely makes sense. But that being said, it's not like I'm going to take this cape off, because that would violate my oath. So we're just going to go through town and hope that nobody fucks with us. How far away does it seem like it is, Blaznir?
I'm still eagle in the air. How far
Yeah.
away
Hey,
is it?
bird!
So, Blaznir lets down 3 turds, letting you know that in about 30
Oh,
minutes
no.
you'll get there.
In 30 minutes?
Yeah, you're not far from the town. You're far enough that you're going to come to the top of a dune, and one day you're going to see it kind of like, seeing that desert city in Lawrence of Arabia.
Mm-hmm. And I know we don't want to split the party, but I would like to ask around in this town about my son.
So, well, my question is, because as I said, you're coming up on Rhinoth, not Rowena. Rowena.
But I figure if he was on his way, this would be the stop before Rowena.
Gotcha. So that's my question.
Mm-hmm.
Willow's like, if you're going to go into Rhinoth, don't draw attention to yourself. Stay away from the slave markets. And she tells you specifically, Ichabod, stay away from the slave markets. These are.
I'd be enslaved. Me?
She knows your group well enough, and as a former member of the Thieves Guild, she's already changed her appearance. By the way, and she looks completely different at this point. I'm going to let John describe that the next time he's here.
Willow, let me assuage any doubts. All right, if you're worried, I'm going to try to free some slaves. I will have you all know that my oath does not call on me to protect the innocent. It calls on me to punish the guilty. So I just want to make that clear.
Well, Willow's going to give you a sidelong glance and just point out that in the Margarden Federation, literally everyone is guilty.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, so Ichabod is Ghost Rider?
That's what I've been this whole time.
His mission to protect the innocent was perverted into a lust to punish the guilty?
That's literally my oath, though.
Okay. But, so that's my question is to all of you. Like, Blaznir, you would have seen the town coming up at this point, and I'm sure there's some way you can swoop down and alert everyone that it's coming up.
Yeah, I'll become me. Like, why not?
And it's getting to the point where it's probably around 5:30, 6 a.m.-ish. So if you're you can definitely get there and get inside town and find an inn or something like that. You will have to go to bed in an hour or two after you get to town, or suffer more exhaustion points. Because you have been traveling all day, but you can get there if you want to do that, or if you want to not go into Rhinoth, you can absolutely do that too. I'm just asking, what are you wanting to do?
How much would it add to our travel time if we didn't go into the city?
If you didn't go into the city and just skirt around it and then immediately camp out there and do, I mean, it honestly just depends on how much time you plan on spending in the city. Obviously, if you camped outside the city and immediately left after getting a long rest, you'll get to Rowena probably by dawn. If you linger and fuck around and do a ton of stuff in Rhinoth, then it depends on how long you're there.
I don't want to fuck around in Rhinoth because I don't want to find out.
I want to go to Rhinoth and get it in. I want to see the town, but we don't have to hang out, I just want to walk through, see, sleep for a night, leave the next day. Or leave the next night, I should say.
You might have some interesting stuff to buy.
It's true.
I love shopping.
Because we've yet to enter a town in the Margarden Federation, right?
No, you steered clear of Corinthia.
I want to get the vibe, as they say. As the kids say nowadays. Yeah. I want to feel the vibe.
Let's go vibe check the town.
Go give the town a good hearty vibe check.
Corin is smart enough to know that this is a bad idea, but he said his piece and they're not going for it.
Well, Kaya has not voted yet. What's Kaya have to say?
I mean, Kaya wouldn't mind seeing if maybe perchance she can find some ranged weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, crossbow. We get one for Willow, too. See, we got it.
All right.
Kaya,
Check that.
you're
Darts.
a smart guy.
Yeah, kunai, darts.
Let's go be stupid.
Yeah, and they're just darts that you throw, and you flavor
Definitely not
them
going to start any fights.
to be
I reserve the right to say I told you so.
some of those.
In fact, you
fine.
do, Corin.
Oh, that you can get.
I cannot wait until the breakout portion of this episode.
I'm not going to free any slaves unless I see somebody actively being evil.
No, I'm saying one of us will become a slave, and it's
Oh, yeah.
it's.
I mean,
inevitable.
hey, if you want to spend the next 4 weeks fucking around in
No.
other cities, I'm fine with that. It doesn't bother me at all.
Sorry, did you want a crossover episode? Just kidding.
Yeah, just kidding. We're hanging out in the desert for the next month. Then
Hey,
we'll
we
do the
still
crossover.
got 40 minutes in this session.
Exactly.
So-
Exactly. So I'm just fucking with you. I like it. It doesn't matter to me what you do. So it sounds like 3 out of 4 of you, and Willow's not. She said her piece, but 3 out of 5 is definitely enough. So you're heading to Rhinoff. Okay.
Mhm.
As you get closer to this town, you can tell that the barricades around it is actually kind of slim. Like, you can see there's a man-made stone wall around the outside of the town, but the closer you get, you're realizing that they're just trucking in stones from the mountain range to the north, to the east of you. Yeah, to the east of you, and it's that dark. It's very dark brown, odd-looking stone, but for the most part, it's just a thin wall that goes around it that's meant to like deter people attacking. But this is also the Federation, so other than monsters, not a lot of people attack each other. Monsters do constantly, and the closer you get, you see like spike traps, and you see a lot of archers along the walls, looking for any sign of monsters approaching. But people themselves, and people on war horses especially, you're able to make it past them and get towards the gate itself, probably right around 6:30 in the morning. The sun is just starting to come up over the horizon. The Umber Spire in the distance is just this big black spike going up into the sky. But the guards there, as you approach, like, there's not a lot of people heading into town at this point. So as your horses are nearing, you see a pair of guards standing at the gate, and at least 6 more along the wall itself, like with bows. But they have arrows knocked, but they're not pulled. They're not looking at regarding you as a threat. They're regarding you as just travelers. So as you're coming up towards the city gate, 2 guards, a dwarf and a tiefling, step up towards you, and the dwarf is like, "You here for the market?"
Yes.
Yes.
Make a deception check.
I don't say anything.
Sure.
Not gonna give
19.
myself guidance. Oh, that should not be with advantage. But 23.
I'm pretty sure there's no possible way for them to beat this, but I'm going to see.
You're good at
Yeah.
lying.
You're very good at lying, and they're like, "Yeah, okay." And the dwarf and the tiefling look at one another, and they say, 25 gold entry.
Insight check.
Inside them.
Refuse to get ripped off by
15.
another tiefling. I swear to God.
Yeah, that's probably the common price.
Okay.
Seems likely.
I will.
That's
can-
total, right?
Yeah, 25 gold to get in the city.
Total?
I'll pay it then.
Okay. Take 25
Alright.
gold off your inventory. They step aside and let you through. And, like, yeah, you believed them. They totally did, but you definitely got ripped off.
Can hear them laughing at us.
Yeah, you definitely hear that kind of chuckling a little bit as you make your way past the wall and into the city. You just gave them more than what they make in probably a few months. But
Ichabod
anyway,
clenches his fist. Now I think all tieflings are like scam artists.
except it was the dwarf that was talking the whole time.
But I knew that tiefling had something to do with it.
That fucking tiefling.
I know it was fucking tiefling.
Yeah,
I swear to God.
But anyway, you make your way into the city. And Rhinoff, as you're making your way past those walls, Ichabod, like, during your campaign, you stood on the wall where you defended your realm against the only opening in the world to the Shadowfell. And you saw a lot of things. But on the other side of that, you remember, like, a lot of the people who lived in that area, they tended to more live in, like, tents and broken down buildings that have just been quickly rehabbed and refurnished. And so, like, the city followers who, like, maintain the town and maintain, like, the soldiers' presence there, they lived in a very sparse conditions. Tents, broken down structures. It was more functional than comfortable. And this area reminds you of the same thing. There's maybe one building in 20 that's an actual stone building. And most of it is sandstone or clay brick. Every structure has been covered in a sort of odd whitish plaster. But you can also see, like, chips in that plaster and breaks and areas where the stone is very obvious. But that's one building in 20. And for the most part, the rest of them are just tall tents. Very drab in color, beiges and dirty white grays and stuff like that. And as you're making your way through, you can't help but wonder, like, how do people live like this? And Corin, who lived in North Emia, the magical capital of the world, you're seeing, like, people covered in mud, children running naked in the streets, just plastered with the dirt and grime of living in a sandy, poor area. Water is sparse. Plants are sparse. Most of the people that you see walking through here are laborers, trudging under heavy weights as they move about. The slaves are very obvious. The people who are forced to work for their lives, each one has an iron collar around their neck. And Willow points out as you're moving that each one is been indented with a specific logo or a specific brand. People themselves aren't branded because slaves get traded quite often. But each one wears a collar. Sometimes it's of iron, sometimes it's of leather, sometimes it's much more rich. Like you like maybe in an hour of you walking around the town, you see like maybe 2 or 3 that's actually of like silver or gold. And these individuals are much more finely and richly dressed, but still like dirty at the hems of their robes or their hems of their dresses. But this is definitely like probably the most derelict area any of you have ever stepped into. And it's strange.
I'm definitely going to charm a slave driver. Oh god.
Oh no.
Oh no.
I ain't seen poverty like this in a long time. I don't suppose they even have an inn. I'd like to be on the lookout for an inn of sorts.
Sure, go ahead and make a perception check.
My god. How many nat ones have I rolled today?
That's 3 in my recent memory, but maybe more than that.
At least, yeah.
Oof.
Yeah. You're looking about and you're not really spotting a lot. Like, for you, Ichabod, an inn is a multi-leveled grand thing. Stone and brickwork at the very least, and like lively, and lots of music coming out. And as you scan around, you're just looking at all these tents.
I'm trying to smell for whiskey.
Yeah, and you're just not. The most that you're smelling is like manure and sweat and grime.
Are there any like guards or not slaves about?
Oh, there's definitely just laborers moving about. There's guards that pass by every so often. These are people who are like, I'm sure you've seen, like in any fantasy setting, desert folk. They have like the turbans around their head, and they're all dressed in very pale colors because the lighter the cloth, the cooler you are. The darker it is, the more the sun approaches. So that's kind of what you're seeing. Picture Lawrence of Arabia, and you're getting a pretty good idea of what the city looks like. But yes, you can spot like the much more cleaner individuals wielding weapons, walking around in like 2s or 3s that are patrolling. They're obviously guards.
All right, I'm gonna hop off my horse and just kind of lead them by the reins and walk up to one of them and be like, sorry to bother you, but is there anywhere we could stow our horses for the night and get a good rest sleep or anything like that?
The guards kind of look you up and down. Give me a persuasion check.
Sure. That's perception.
Perhaps a temple.
Persuasion. So I got a 10.
A mosque, I should say.
Yeah, you rolled a perception.
Yeah, but minus my persuasion is an 8, so I'm just...
Okay, so fair enough. Yeah, with your 10, the guard kind of looks you over and he's like, You're new here, aren't you?
Very new. Just passing through for today, hoping to get some sleep. Dunes aren't the greatest place to sleep, so,
Yeah, if you, and then he kind of pauses and he holds his hand out.
Oh, right. Sorry. I put a platinum piece in his hand.
A plat.
Yeah, I'm rich.
His eye rises,
around.
and the guard looks at that and looks at you and says, "Yeah, if you head 2 blocks down, then make a left and go another 3 blocks up, you'll find a place called the Heron's Mark. Heron,
Mark.
like the bird."
All right. Thank you. You are super kind.
Stay out of trouble now.
I always do.
And make a deception check. Make a deception check.
And
yeah, they just kind of give you an eyebrow raised, but walks off.
Can I ride off of his platinum piece and say, "And sir, is there any mosque in this town?" Just curious.
They do pause, and I'll let you ride off that. And they
lot of money.
yeah, off that platinum piece, they do pause and say, "Oh yeah, there's a mosque. Go about 5 blocks down. It's the only stone structure on that street. You'll find it."
Thank you, sir.
It's basically the opposite direction of the inn.
Okay.
The Willow spent a fair amount of time in this area, right?
Here she actually didn't spend a whole lot of time, and the time she did spend, it wasn't exploring, and then she never came back, she would say.
Okay, I was thinking more along the lines of just like the desert area in general.
Oh, you mean, yeah, she did live in this area for quite a while.
If she knows how, I'm gonna try and like get her help. I'm gonna get like just a piece of cloth out from one of my pieces of clothing or something, and make myself a turban.
Okay.
Or specifically one that is long enough that it will kind of hide my ears and make it at least slightly harder to tell, hey, this guy's an elf.
Now, let me see. Let me look at Willow real quick, because I think... Yes, she has proficiency with a disguise kit.
Cool.
So...
And I would like to request her, would you, yeah, we don't want to be walking around drawing so much attention.
Why, sure.
Yeah, I just gave the disguise kit the charisma stat, so Ichabod, go ahead and roll a disguise kit check for me to see how well Willow does helping Corin hide his ears.
Okay,
Don't roll a 1, please.
I probably will. Disguise kit. There it is. Ooh,
Guidance.
21.
Hell
I
yeah.
do like spell, don't I?
Yeah, you don't need the guidance. You take that piece of cloth, she kind of winds it a little bit and starts working it around your head and builds up a pretty nice turban. She definitely knows how to do this.
Nice.
And in that moment, and you're actually already a very tan individual.
Mm-hmm.
So while your clothes are outlandish and very flamboyant, you definitely look like somebody who's been out in the sun and maybe more humanoid than elf.
Cool.
Yeah.
What kind of hair color do people have here? I feel like me being a redhead is kind of not the greatest.
Make a perception check.
Yep. Where is it? That one. 18.
So you do stand out, but then again, your entire party stands out as you're all walking along the tented streets of this area. You can all now at this point start to hear like clamor and clatter of the slave auction. It makes up about a 1/4 of the city itself. So anytime you get somewhat close to it, you can kind of start hearing it. People yelling, people moaning, people calling out numbers, that sort of thing. But like as you're walking around, your entire group stands out. You're all very well dressed. You're all heavily armed, and you're all definitely outlanders. Now, apart from that, you specifically wanted to know about your red hair. You don't like most of the humans you see definitely don't have red hair. They're black hairs for the most part. Maybe some browns is the lightest color. Your shade stands out, but the point I'm trying to convey is, while your shade does stand out and is a little more on the odd side, your entire group stands out.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so it just doesn't matter, like, whatever I do to try to blend in, because we have a turtle running around.
Yeah, just your group. You're riding war horses. You're heavily armed. You're battle scarred. Half of you are at least covered in some kind of funk.
Mm-hmm.
So you stand out.
Cool.
All right.
Let's go find the inn.
Blaznir, now ain't time for your insecurities, okay?
But no, I just wanted to blend in a bit more. You know, that's kind of what a bard is supposed to do.
Are you sure?
Yeah, blend in with the population, but not to also be a performer. You know.
Will is going to tell you that that's pretty much the opposite of what a bard's supposed to do. But hey,
well, no, but like you blend in with the people to get the trust of people. You know.
Let's go find the inn.
Let's go to this inn.
Yeah, let's go to the inn, because Will is just going to be like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know how to be a bard.
That's how you
That's
go into a place and they don't trust you. They're not going to listen to your music or watch you perform.
But you do make your way to the Heron's Mark, which is one of the handful of structures that is at least partially built. Now, there is several walls, but then beyond that, it's like built up of tents on top of it, and creates a very large series of tents. And so there's a common room, and there's a bar there, and there's individual areas for people to rent, and it's all interconnected. It's all very elaborately set up. But like I said, as you step into this room, and you can definitely stable your horses in the more built up section of this. But as you step into the bar itself, everyone does stop and kind of look at your group.
The old Western saloon entrance.
Exactly.
Somebody stops playing the piano.
Yeah, the piano just stops. Everyone glances and looks, and there's Ichabod walking forward. Thump, and the spurs go.
Yeah, and I spit into the spittoon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then I just walk up to the bar.
And the bartender is a human man, middling years, big beard, kind of craggle-toothed and weathered-looking, and he says, "Well, welcome. See all kinds of people here, and you definitely look like you're from afar, so what can I do for you?"
Looking for a place to lay my head.
We can take care of that. We have plenty of tents here and plenty of room for rent. Before
you say anything,
Hmm.
I'm sure it's going to be a very reasonable price. And then I lean over the counter because I'm sick of getting ripped off.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay. I will.
Can she have that with advantage? Because I'm standing right behind her, and I mean,
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah. Kaya steps up behind you, Ichabod, and just pops her fingers and that.
I'm also going to use one of my superiority dice.
Okay. What's the superior? How are you doing this?
It's commanding presence. It's one of my maneuvers. Whenever I make an intimidation check, I can roll and add to it.
I like it.
18 on the intimidation.
18 total. Yeah, you're just leaning forward and scowling, and Kaya's in the back flexing her muscles.
And I give him a big smile.
Mm-hmm. Well, of course, masters, of course. We cater to all types here. As I was saying, 4 silver pieces for the room, and it's all yours.
I give him 4 silver pieces, and then I tip my hat and I say, "Thank you for being so reasonable."
So you're just taking one room? It's 4 silver pieces
I'm
for
paying
a room.
for myself.
Fair enough.
Of course.
Hey, if I were to play in your bar, could I get a little bit of a discount? And just a background feature. Because I'm an entertainer. So,
Yeah, they will definitely allow you to play for them for the remainder of the day, and in return, they'll give you a room for 2 silver.
Right, then I'll do that. If I can.
As for the rest of you, Ichabod's negotiated some rates. Are you all taking it?
Yeah.
I throw 4 silver down.
I'm gonna mention to the rest of the party, no one rooms alone.
Ichabod avoids eye contact.
I'm not there. He will stare at you straight in the eyes so that you realize that there is absolutely zero sexual undertones whatsoever. It is literally just, if one of us stays alone, I am fairly certain they're going to try and kidnap you. So no one is going to be rooming alone.
Right, I guess we should buddy up then.
Right,
Well,
who wants to sleep in mine?
Yeah, there's 5 rooms, and currently the two of you have rented them, Blaznir and Ichabod. So how are you splitting this up?
So if Willow wants to sleep in the same bed as Ichabod, then I can.
I will not allow this. I will not allow this. I will not allow this.
I'm pretty sure Willow wouldn't either, actually.
Just use the floor.
Yeah. How about Kaya and Willow can room together? Corin, you can sleep on separately on the floor or whatever. It's a tent, so I imagine there's probably mats.
These are tents, so
Yeah.
when you actually see the rooms themselves, it's like there's carpets all over the sand and the floor, and then there's like a camp bed.
Yeah, like a padded mat.
Yeah, a padded mat and that sort of thing, and like a little table with a tallow candle and maybe something to a post to hang clothes. It's not like a lot.
Yeah.
All right. I think that would be a better situation, and I trust that Kaya is a gentleman, and thus can have a lady sleep in his room for the night.
And everyone just stops and like side eyes each other, and Ichabod's completely oblivious to this whole thing.
Completely oblivious.
Yeah, so I'll just sit on the floor in trance in Ichabod's tent.
That does mean I'm alone, but
No,
that's fine. Unless there's like, I don't know if 3 people can sleep and can fit in one room.
I'm sure we can make it work.
I mean, uncomfortably, but yeah, you do have 2 rooms. You could split it up, 3 in one room and 2 in the other.
Willow could shift to be little.
She doesn't do that
Well,
anymore.
I mean, she's with Kaya, so the 2 ladies are going to share one room. The 3 gentlemen are going to share the other, and it's going to be Blaznir, I guess, on the floor with Ichabod on the camp bed while Corin's meditating.
Sure.
Sounds fair. We've got pads.
We've got bedrolls and stuff.
Bedrolls.
You know what? It's not as bad as the 5 people in a 10-foot dome. So
This is true. This is true.
Well, we'll make it work, boys.
Mhm.
All right.
Fair
all right,
enough.
I will be a bit later because I'm, doing my bard thing.
Yeah.
Because I know
I'll
how
watch
to
the
do bard
performance.
things. And I can't have my red panda out today, but that's just a little sad.
Well, for the sake of time, because it is 5:44, what all are you wanting? Are you just wanting to stay here for the night and then leave first thing in the morning, or because it is the morning now, so I guess
We'll leave in the evening.
yeah, in the evening. Are you just planning on sleeping for the day and heading out?
That's my plan.
Yeah, we'll watch his performance, and then we'll sleep, and then we'll get on the road, and hopefully nobody's doing bad things after dark.
Well, for the sake of time and the fact that I want to get to the crossover quickly, we're going to say that, your time in the city is brief. You can ask around about at the mosque, and they don't really remember your wife. I'm not going to have you roll for this. I'm just going to let you know. They don't really remember your wife, but a lot of people travel this route, so it's really hard to remember somebody who just stops over. But you all head out in the morning, and you spend your evening traveling, once again, over the desert sands to eventually get to Rowena. Now, Rowena itself is incredible. Blaznir, did you fly as an eagle today? Just out of curiosity?
Sure.
Good.
Better to be on a horse.
Yeah, definitely. So for the next day, you all travel through the evening, and basically right around 6 a.m., as dawn is beginning to rise up, you catch sight of the glittering sapphire of the Jotla Waste, the city of Rowena. Now, Willow would be able to tell you that the city of Rowena is home to the Gladiator Arena and the Great Bazaar. And as you make your way towards it, you can tell it is without a doubt one of the most spectacular cities on Loroupa. Its shimmering spires can be seen for miles across the desert. And it's the crystal clear lake outside of the edge of this oasis city is said to be the purest and most sweetest water on the entire continent. The shores of the Azura Row sits the Palace of the Eternal Throne, the grandest palace in all of the Federation. It is home to the Grand Zaim, Al Ruwan Mahirin the Eighth, to whom most of the other rulers pay at least some token homage to. The Zaim's forces oversee a large network of trade caravans that bring the riches of the Jutla Waste and distribute them outward through the rest of Loroupa. The city is huge and visited by pilgrims and nomad tribes alike. You see a shit ton of tabaxi here.
Wow.
There's tons of them living in the Jutla Waste, and many, many tabaxi call Rowena home. Though there are pretty much every other civilized race in existence here. And as you make your way towards it and have to queue up to get into the city, because in the early morning you definitely have to be at least examined and questioned by the guards, you're seeing a very large mix of every civilized race. Orcs, half-orcs, furbolgs, goblins and hobgoblins. Every race, humans, dwarves, elves even. There are more than one elf here.
Wow.
Half-elves. Turtles. Changelings. Everything. Once you actually make your way into the city and start walking around, you actually spot a couple changelings in their natural form. And Willow points these out to you.
I avert my eyes.
Yeah, because they're bright white with pink and green hair, and it's definitely weird looking at them. But yeah, it's traders from near and far, the powerful and the powerless, everybody who wishes to see the Grand Zaim, tourists, nobles, and idiots, even genies, and people, the greedy, the rich, the poor, everybody. Those who seek adventure, those who create it, and those who are looking for a better way of life. All these people are here in Rowena, living what some would call the most pure form of freedom that a being could possibly have, because not a lot of rules in this area. But as you make your way closer and you're questioned, what do you say to this group, to these group of guards who are examining you and specifically asking what's your purpose for visiting Rowena?
This is where the tournament is happening, right?
It is.
All right, then I guess just that. Like, if everyone else is fine with it.
Yeah, I'm fine with saying that my friends have some obligations to the tournament. And then I also describe my wife and say, I'm here for her. Have you seen her?
Make a persuasion roll with disadvantage.
I'm like, well, I'm so close. Okay. Persuasion. 9.
They
Are
look
you
at
sure?
you and... Do you know how many people we see coming through here every single day?
Well, you ain't got to be rude. It was worth a try.
It's going to cost you actually only 10 gold pieces to make your way into the city, if someone wants to pay that.
Sure.
You pay it without question, and they let you through. And you see the most beautiful desert city you can ever imagine. Like, think Agrabah on steroids. Most of the buildings in Rowena are, for the most part, unremarkable and typical of any large cities, other than the fact that they are perfectly square buildings. Other areas have much more grand palaces, which you see quite a bit. These huge mansion-like structures, just arbitrarily placed as you make your way into the city. Most of the common buildings are constructed of stone or clay bricks. Their surfaces are usually coated with a plaster or painted clay, and more than a few of them are faced with mosaics or engraved stone tablets, making a very beautiful and vibrant area in an area that's mostly just sand and rock. But here, as you're making your way through, you're starting to see tons more plant life. Palm trees are everywhere. Desert plants that thrive that need fresh water are in abundance. Flowers are grown everywhere. Every surface has some type of plant or flower that anywhere else in the desert, it would be dead within an hour. But it is thriving here in this glittering jewel in the wastes. Willow seems to take the lead and tells you that she has to go and meet her mentor. She tells you that if you have anything else you want to do in the city, meet her at the Archer and Rose. It's an inn, a dwarven architecture structure that is more towards the lower center of the city, and when you get there, ask for her, and they'll lead you to where she is. But she needs to go and meet up with her mentor.
Okay.
Have fun.
Understood. Stay safe.
And she kind of looks back at you, and she tells you all one last time, stay together and don't talk to anyone. These are my people now. And
I'm going to talk to a lot of people.
yeah,
I'm
you probably
going to
are.
talk to everybody.
I'm going to talk to as many people as I physically can.
I wave to a random person.
I tip my hat to that person.
Yeah, you tip your hat to that person, and
Yeah.
there's a lot of people. Most of them, like I described before, wearing light colored cloths, shawls or turbans on their head to block out the sun. You see a lot of laborers, not as many slaves, but there's definitely, like, if you were to sit there and look, like, 1 out of every 30 or 40 has a collar around their neck. Most of them seem to be well fed and just going about their business and carrying things or doing whatever. But there's a lot of people here.
Mm-hmm.
People from all walks of life. And like I said before, every single race is represented. But a lot of humans, a lot of tabaxi, a lot of gnomes, a lot of halflings, and a very broad mixture of everything else. But as Willow heads off and trots off, we have a little bit of time left in the session, but not a lot. Is there anything you're wanting to accomplish before you head off to meet with Willow?
Is there like a fun magic market?
There
Like
is the
Saga,
Grand Bazaar.
Grand Bazaar.
Indeed.
I feel like
Fun magic market.
I really want to find my son, but I don't really know where to start looking. I know I could probably find my wife by going to churches and stuff and asking if she's been there, but if my son's involved with the syndicate.
So here's my question, because like where we're at right now, I feel like we could probably do one more solo session just in Rowena, chasing some things off your list, and Kaya going to the Coliseum, because I got one more thing that I'm going to tell you here in a minute. But would you guys prefer to have one more session just as a group here in Rowena before you break off for the crossover? Because I feel like probably one more would really help out y'all.
I'm okay with
Shopping
either
episode.
one. but I don't really know how much stuff there is for me to do here.
Well, we're
At the
going to get to
moment.
that.
Yeah, like I'm okay with finding my family and stuff to be tied in with that, but I can't see any reason why Ichabod would be like, yeah, I'm gonna go fight in the gladiator tournament when I'm here to find my wife and son. I would feel like that's like the most important thing in my mind right now.
And that's why I want to give you one more session in Rowena before we switch over to the crossover.
Mm-hmm.
Just from a story.
Because I think right now Ichabod doesn't really even have a reason to fight in the.
No, he doesn't, and I wanted to get to that, but you know how things go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I'm going to say we're going to take one more next session. We're going to do one more here in Rowena, just as a group, to tie down some loose ends. Because here's the thing, Ichabod, finding your family is what's going to give you your reason to participate in the tournament. Corin,
He does.
Mm-hmm.
you're going to spot a gold-scaled dragonborn as you're making your way into the city. And you're making your way down one street, and Willow just goes tottering off, and Ichabod's talking about, I really want to head to the church and start asking about my family. And he starts going off in that direction. And in that moment, you spot somebody. Just the back of their head, their robes, and that tail. Because I think you said he had a tail. Correct me if I'm wrong. But you do see a gold-scaled dragonborn making their way through the city, not without a turban, but in desert-looking attire.
Mm-hmm.
And in that moment, you can't help but wonder, is that him?
All right, I'm gonna try and grab Blaznir and be like, "Come with me."
What? I was looking at the bazaar. What?
And I know Kaya has something she wants to do at the bazaar too. So I feel like one more episode is perfect for this.
Sure.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do. Next session, we're going to meet up at our normal time. We're going to chase down our Rowena leads, which I really want to do before the crossover. And we're going to end things meeting up with Willow and her contact to talk about her part.
Sure.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. So, yeah, it's 6 o'clock, and that's a perfect time to end it. So, to everyone who watched this evening, thank you very much. We really appreciate you supporting us and hanging out and enjoying our shows. Join us again next Monday at 3 o'clock when we chase down our Rowena leads and finally get into the crossover. So on behalf of everyone here in the Debauchery Circus, I just want to say once again, thank you for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you next week. Good night.